Hi, I'm Tomislav Medak from the Zagreb-based theater group BADco. And in this video, I'm going to present you a conceptual proposition of post-hoc dramaturgy, a proposition which was proposed for and developed within the laboratory 10 days, one location, that took place between October 25th and November 3rd of 2010 in Zagreb. The proposition starts out from the initial invitation sent out to the participating theater makers in the laboratory itself, which invited participants to think about the things that they have left behind and possible strategies of recuperating those things left behind in their previous work. So methodologies, propositions, issues and concerns that had to be relegated to memory due to intense production cycle that many of us are subject to and that forces us to move from the performance to performance and always to produce the new, forgetting the old. The proposition of post-hoc dramaturgy, dramaturgy which would come after the fact, once the show is finished and starts to tour, goes through its lifespan and eventually into its afterlife, proposes to look back at finished performances as complete events that include the work performed itself, the act of spectating, and the context it plays out itself in, and possibly the trajectory of its lifespan and the afterlife, and to draw conclusions as to how the performance, the work, works, how it takes effect. And then from there, from the insights devised from this analytical effort, to understand what would be possible pragmatic strategies of reintroducing such insights, bring them back either to transform the initial artwork or to bring them back into our future work. So in discussing this proposition of post-hoc dramaturgy, we have come to distinguish between three different forms of dramaturgy. The first being standard poetic generative dramaturgy that is involved in every performance production with its standard operations, procedures, methods, selections, and similar strategies that all of us use in creating performances. Second form of dramaturgy would be, and here it's more a difference of order of operations rather than time, final cut dramaturgy, that kind of dramaturgy that comes at the end of the creative process and is of different or second order as so far as it makes decision upon what's been accumulated with particular concern for presentability of the show. Speaking in cybernetic terms, one could say that it's a second degree operation where we take into consideration a hypothetical environment of the future performance and draw conclusions from there and reintroduce these conclusions in the work itself. And there is a third dramaturgy, dramaturgy that is the object of our interest here, and that is post-hoc dramaturgy, dramaturgy that comes after the fact, once the show is finished, starts its touring life, and possibly enters its afterlife. That kind of dramaturgy would really be a different kind of dramaturgy in time, clearly. And it would be different from poetic and or final cut dramaturgy as insofar as it wouldn't start out from the creator's intent or even from assessing the implementation, successful or unsuccessful, of the creator's intent, but rather looking at the effects the performance, the work has on its spectators, on itself through reiteration, and looking at how the work inserts itself and intervenes into the context that it's presented in. In thinking about post-hoc dramaturgy, we could speculate that there are different strategies as to how to approach this kind of analytic effort, and the most typical would be that one of interpretation. A more intriguing or more unusual one would be of creating singular concepts that are the product of singular performances, singular works, and insofar create a new opening that or something that is new, an emergent element in the work itself. And lastly, a categorical apparatus, an analytic framework with categories to be considered when analyzing a performance finished or done. In discussing post-hoc dramaturgy, we have mostly focused on devising categorical apparatuses and devising singular concepts related to the works of the theater practitioners that participated in the laboratory. For instance, you can here see one kind of matrix that would allow for a rather objective or objectivational analysis of a performance that would consider different actors involved in the theatrical event, mobilization of capacity of those actors, compositional elements of the event, and then translative effects that go beyond the confines of the singular event of a performance, or a rather more loose categorization that would distinguish between three aspects that we could analyze as the workings of a performance, those being technologies of the spectator, feedback to the work or how the work transforms itself through reiteration, and lastly its interaction with context. For instance, technologies of the spectator would include rather more general considerations of homogeneity or heterogeneity of spectators' experience vis-a-vis different expressive means used in the show, mobilization of his or her capacities those being cognitive, physical, kinesthetic, affective, emotional, desires, etc., etc. Dramaturgy of attention, immersion, distance, or lateral perspectives, or organization of attention, dramaturgy of attention, humor, accumulation or subtraction of materials, and then more specific individual performance related categories such as boredom and spectacularity of small, or intimacy with machines, or overload as different from abundance, etc., etc. Here you can also see different subcategories in the categories of feedback to the work and interaction with the context that I'm going to leave now with you, so you can have a more detailed look at it while I finish this presentation. So from this proposal, we have speculated as to its effects if we would apply these categories on the existing works of ours, and my colleagues will explain either their works or categories related to their works in related videos, which you can find in the same channel, my colleagues Petra Zanki and Sasha Asentich, so make sure to look for those. And as for me, I'm saying goodbye. My friend Icebat, One-Winged Icebat, is also saying goodbye, and please consider this conceptual proposition and send feedback either through comments or response videos, whether this makes any sense and where you see a possible application of a post-hoc dramaturgy in your work. We'll keep you posted on the development of this proposition in our work. Bye.